Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam Show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the Pancake and Power Slam Show. Turn it up.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. We are at 600. Where are we at? 623, PNP Nation? 623 episodes. 623 episodes of the Pancakes and Powerslams Show. Wowzers, wowzers. So guess what? We are 3 weeks away from the anniversary show, and we got the guest locked in. The guest is locked in. So tonight the Patreon community gets to hear it first. So patreon.com/pancakes and powerslams, patreon.com/pancakes and powerslams. They will be the first people to hear it first. So as far as who's going to be a former WWE star will be featured as the special guests joining us on the 12th year anniversary doing Q&A on the PNP show. And the patrons get to hear it first, as Booker T would say, tonight. So, of course, hashtag Ask Doc, hashtag Ask Doc is what to do. We'll get to the question cam here in a minute, but you already know I'll start my monologue on this week's topic. And also, if you're in the Patreon community, you get to pick this week's topic. You get to pick topics too. And so all different types of fun stuff for the Patreon. It's just less than $1 a week, y'all. $3.99 a month just to join me in the after party and learn about some things. I got some sources. I got plenty of sources within WWE, and people ask me questions and I give them answers of what I've heard and what's been told to me. We just talk about current news and rumors in more depth, and you get to join me on the screen, live on the screen. It's always a pleasure. All right, so let's talk about Brock Lesnar being rumored. And again, take this with a grain of salt. This was I give the HT to Brian Alvarez on this one from the Wrestling Observer. He talked about Brock Lesnar possibly being so basically Brock Lesnar is being reintegrated back into the WWE site, WWE mentioning his name, like WWE as far as his name and things like that. He was blacklisted for a while during the Vince McMahon allegations when it got really heated. Vince McMahon is still far away from that and not really being affiliated with WWE and really talked about much. But Brock Lesnar, though, he reportedly, based on the Wrestling Observer, he is being reintegrated. There's talks about him being reintegrated back into the WWE fold. Now, the rumored match was Brock Lesnar versus Gunther at WrestleMania, and that looks like that's been changed to, as we saw on Raw, that's been changed to, or reportedly changed. I mean, it was never official that it was going to be Gunther versus Brock, but it definitely seemed like the roads were leading to Gunther versus Brock, and that was reported. That's something I predicted a while ago, and it just made sense. It just made sense especially if Gunther was going to retain the title. I think it would have made sense for him to beat Lesnar. That would have been a really interesting win. But it does seem as if Lesnar is going to somehow be reintegrated into pro wrestling storyline. So the the initial thought that I have about that is it's not really a good look for the TKO brand. However, innocent until proven guilty, man. And Brock Lesnar was never confirmed. I mean, everything pointed to basically Brock Lesnar being the person referenced in those text messages. But the text messages did not say Brock Lesnar. So we can't really now it's, and this is just my opinion, and this is the court of law too. I mean, you're innocent until proven guilty. So both Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar are both innocent until proven guilty. And Brock Lesnar wasn't even acknowledged by name. So there was like, basically the description of the other person basically fit. I mean, it was like Brock Lesnar to a T. But I mean, it was safe from a PR standpoint. It was safe to step away from Brock Lesnar, at least initially. But now, I mean, if his name wasn't referenced, if he's not accused for anything, and he's not. I mean, he's not accused for anything. Not saying that not by any means. I'm not saying that I endorse. It seemed like it was Brock Lesnar. Of course, those are allegations. Regardless of the situation, I do not endorse it whatsoever. But if you think about it from a professional standpoint, Brock Lesnar can deny them, and they would have to prove it. They would have to prove that it was Brock Lesnar, because that's just how it is in the court of law, innocent until proven guilty. So you have to prove that it was Brock Lesnar. So therefore, it seemed like they wanted it to cool off a little bit. But then I realized, if this is true, if the rumors are true, I imagine that WWE realized that they need that type of star power in WWE. You just, Brock Lesnar is money. Brock Lesnar is star power. And this WrestleMania, yes, it's being headlined by The Rock, but that's only night one. And then night two, with the exception of Roman versus Cody, doesn't really bring a lot of star power. So night one is really like the big night as far as like The Rock is going to be on there. But there's no person who's going to be featured on night two that transcends the business. Nobody. So if Brock Lesnar is involved somehow, I imagine, do you want to push away Sami Zayn, who earned the Intercontinental Championship spot for Brock Lesnar? Business wise, it would make sense. I mean, Brock Lesnar draws more money than Sami Zayn. I mean, any day of the week in his sleep. I mean, we don't have to argue over that. I mean, the argument would be like, who earned their spot more? But at the end of the day, like that really doesn't matter when it comes to business. It just doesn't matter. I mean, Brock Lesnar will come in and cause some buzz, as opposed to Sami Zayn. I mean, I like Sami Zayn, but he just doesn't cause that type of WrestleMania buzz. And he really hasn't since summertime, maybe, really fall. I mean, post WrestleMania, the journey was much better than the chase when it came. The chase was much better than the destination when it came to Sami Zayn. The chase, what's my guy's name? Who was like what's his name? He was Rad Rafford. What's his name? That's going to bug me. Rad Radford, Louis Spicoli. Yeah, Louis Spicoli. He's like the Louis Spicoli. He was like the Louis Spicoli of the NWO. I mean, how he was in NWO, he was like that to the Bloodline. And he did it so well, man. He did it so well. The fans were getting behind him. They felt like he was down. He was, he was underappreciated. And those type of people, those people who are underappreciated and and unheard and misrepresented, the misfits of this world, pro wrestling fans, they cling to that stuff, man, because a lot of pro wrestling fans are misfits. So they cling to the people, to the person who is unpopular or undesired, underutilized, all that stuff. And so it worked. It organically worked. But I mean, post them losing their titles, man, it's been it has been rough. It's been really rough. And Sami Zayn tried, he had his interviews and things like that. If Sylvester Stallone does come in, I think it would be smart for him to be affiliated with Sami Zayn, just because of the going to fly now and the underdog and things like that. That makes sense. I think you do need that type of star power to represent Sami Zayn in this feud. Bringing Sly in the fold will magnify the match more. But if Sylvester Stallone, if they don't agree to anything with him, and it's just simply Sammy against Gunther, I mean, if Lesnar's willing to fly from Saskatchewan over to Philly, I mean, oof. You kind of got to make the decision for the business. So how do you do that? Do you have, of course, you wouldn't have Lesnar like destroy Sammy. That wouldn't really make sense. Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't make sense if you had Lesnar destroy Sammy, because Lesnar would be the babyface going into the match. The only thing you could do is you could have, if, say, for instance, if Lesnar does agree to coming back for WrestleMania, what you could do is you could have Imperium or Gunther or Raw leading. There's only a few Raws left before WrestleMania. You can easily have Imperium just beat the brakes off of Sammy backstage, do a right-off angle, and then there you go. And then he can get the Intercontinental Championship down the line. And then, of course, Gunther says there's nobody else. I guess I'm just going to go into WrestleMania being the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. And then Brock Lesnar's music hit. So you can incorporate it. You can incorporate it that way. I mean, for the sake of the wrestling fans, it seems like he might get the same ovation. He better. If Brock Lesnar comes in and pushes Sami Zayn away from the Intercontinental Championship title picture, he better get the same ovation as The Rock did. Because essentially The Rock came in and pushed Cody away from the world title picture. But if Brock Lesnar comes in and pushes Sami Zayn away from the Intercontinental title picture, dare I say, he may get cheered, but that would be so hypocritical from the IWC and pro wrestling mocks. Mock Henry. Interestingly enough, I talked to Tony Atlas this past Saturday at an event, and he talked like this. He said, "Man, I've been here since about 10 o'clock this morning, and man, I'm tired. And they got me in a match too later on tonight, and man, I'm tired, man. I've been signing autographs. I've been here and start at 12. You know, he's just that's Tony Atlas, ladies and gentlemen. But he pulled a presidential style promo as far as like why he's Mr. USA and why God bless America and why uh all the people who came before us, and he got the fans riled up, man. But yeah, I mean, I look, man, can you be upset really if WWE brings back Brock Lesnar after this stuff is cooled off? It'll come back up. I'm sure there's going to be more to the allegations, but he was seemingly was only a fraction of what was the allegations in the first place, right? So, yeah, man, I think the fans will cheer him. I think that at the end of the day, he's still a superstar. Yeah, I mean, of course, you'll have some fans that that's going to declare him guilty of being a part of that. And he may be. Look, he may be. But until then, I mean, he's innocent on the court of law. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. So if they do bring him back, at least until the allegations get more serious and they find out that he is a part of it, of course, at that point in time, if he's admitted guilt or if he's proven guilty, yeah, get him out of here. But at the same time, I mean, the court of law, he's innocent, man. He's still innocent at least. And so if you bring him back to WrestleMania, I can understand why. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can certainly understand why. I can absolutely understand why they would bring him back for WrestleMania because, again, you have The Rock and you don't have any other legend coming back. And I think that's going to hurt WrestleMania, especially being the 40th WrestleMania. You don't have Cena, you don't have Taker, you don't have Triple H. You know what I mean? You don't have people who occasionally make their appearances on WrestleMania to bring up that star power. There's no Hogan host reference or anything like that. So I think the only thing you have is The Rock. I mean, Austin came back a couple of years ago. Rock is all you have, man. So, yeah, I can understand why. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It is time for the question cam. All right, let's do this. Let's do this question cam, baby. Question cam. All right, let's start with the People's Wrestling Channel. Hey, Doc, I'm feeling much better since last week. Good, man. Good, man. I'm glad that you're feeling better this week. That is absolutely fantastic. I'm glad that you are feeling better. Got yourself rested and ready to rock and roll for P&P this week. Always a pleasure to have you a part of it. Is it a quiz on the after party? No, I didn't have a quiz yet. I think I'm saving WrestleMania trivia for probably the next couple of weeks. But, hey, as a patron, if you would like for me to do a quiz on something, let's do it. What I think of The Rock's entrance on SmackDown, I just saw bits and pieces of it. A lot of people said it was really, really cool. But I think at the end of the day, man, The Rock's a pro, man. He's a pro. He's a movie star. He's a pro. He knows what he is doing, man. And the fans are, healing him up. And he's like, okay, all right, bet. Well, if you want me to be a heel, by God, I want to be a heel. And I'm gonna do it well. And I'm a pro at it. And I respect the heck out of that, man. I respect the heck out of that. Got to give it up to him, man. And I wish that, he really sets the precedence on so many people nowadays who's so wrestling heavy that look at what The Rock is doing over these past few weeks. Look what he's doing, and look what a lot of people are just missing out on by just concentrating so much on wrestling. That becomes an issue because those who concentrate so much on wrestling miss the fact that you don't have to, like, you're doing more than you should, that you're doing more than what's necessary. Like you're like it's good in workplaces to go above and beyond. But it's only good in workplaces to go above and beyond if you've mastered what you are expected. If you're expected to be a top guy whose character transcends the business, who's not so wrapped up in just matches, because a match is just as good as the last one or the present one. So you're going to try to outdo yourself over and over. Next match, next match. You're going to keep trying to outdo yourself. And you get tired and you get hurt. You get hurt, ladies and gentlemen. You get hurt. So that becomes an issue. Meanwhile, The Rock hasn't stepped foot in a ring wrestling wise, and he's getting all the buzz because his character is money, and it's fantastic, man. Would you say everyone going in the Hall of Fame deserves it? It's interesting because there's the Bull Nakano discussion based on her merits in Japan, perhaps. As far as her WWE run, no. Unfortunately, I do remember Bull Nakano. She was a pioneer in the revamp of the women's division. So she deserves that part, as far as that end. So if she's going in the Hall of Fame for her accomplishments in Japan, mixed with the fact that she helped revamp the women's division in WWE back in '95. Okay. I mean, I understand that. Because, without any Bull Nakano, there wouldn't be no Alundra Blaze the way that she was. So that is meritorious. But I don't know. I mean, I think that there's other wrestlers. I mean, why isn't Victoria in the Hall of Fame? Why isn't Jazz in the Hall of Fame? For the life of me, I don't understand why those two haven't been inducted yet. I mean, no disrespect, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, them over Victoria and Jazz? Nah, man. Nah, fam. Who else was voted in? US Express. See, that's another one, man. Does Barry Windham deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? 100%. He's already in the Hall of Fame with the Horsemen. So this will be 2 times for Barry Windham. He'll be 2-time Hall of Famer. Mike Rotunda. US Express, Varsity Club, IRS. Yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, US Express, former tag team champions. Varsity Club was a major, faction in WCW. And not only did IRS become a huge heel and a major character in the early 90s, but ended up winning the tag team championships with Ted DiBiase as Money Inc. So, I mean, he's got championships, under his belt to merit a Hall of Fame, induction. And he has a gimmick and a character that's lasting. I mean, people know who Erwin R. Shyster is, as far as just a very notable gimmick. And it wasn't just it just wasn't just a flash in the pan. He ended up winning a tag team. He ended up winning tag team title, tag team championship reigns from it. So, I mean, if you really think of it that way, if they add all of that into his video production, which I don't think that they will, so I think that's a problem, because I think that they're just inducting him as US Express which I don't think the U.S. Express deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think that Barry Windham is already in the Hall of Fame, and he deserves it as being a horseman. But now he's in the Hall of Fame as U.S. Express. And then Rotunda is in the Hall of Fame as a tag team member of the U.S. Express. But IRS was way more popular than his U.S. Express days. So I hope that the WWE does a package of all of his whole body of work. That would make more sense as far as him being in the Hall of Fame. And I think that team will be in the Hall of Fame because of them being in the tag team division, because of them, being super popular in the mid 80s. But I think, let's be honest here. We have the father and the uncle of Bray Wyatt. So, Bray Wyatt passing and it would just, it makes sense for the brother. For the father and uncle of Bray Wyatt, who had a huge tag team back in the mid 80s, who both had very successful individual careers. As a and IRS more tag team as far as championship accomplishments, but he definitely had, some major popularity as a villain as IRS. So Hall of Fame worthy careers individually. So they put him as a tag team and said, hey, let's just put U.S. Express in honor of Bray Wyatt, which I wouldn't be surprised if that will be referenced, which I think it should. Come on now, let's not insult the intelligence of the wrestling fans any more than what they do, and let's do a pretty good video package of Barry and Mike being the respective uncle and father of Bray Wyatt. And that would be interesting. Bo Dallas inducting them would be interesting, in my opinion. Was that your first time talking to Sin Cara? Nope, I've talked about it before. Ab's in the building. What's up? C. Roy. What's up, man? What's up, C. Roy? It's been a long time. It's good, Dr. Featherstone, PNP Nation, man. It's always good to have you, man. Always good to have you. How you doing? How you doing? Derek is in the building. Brock would bring much needed star power to WrestleMania. Absolutely. Say what you want. Say what you want, man. He is currently not guilty. Is he going to be not guilty? We'll see. But as of right now, in the court of law, he's not guilty, and there's not even any allegations toward him. And so, by name at least. And so, that's been public. So until it is by name and until there's a guilty plea, he's available. And so he'll bring the star power to WrestleMania. Michael's in the building. Hi, Dr. Chris. Maybe he'll help out Cody Rhodes during a Bloodline Rules match. I think that The Rock is going to do that, actually. I think that The Rock is going to cost Roman Reigns the title, which is going to cause Roman to leave for a while and then The Rock to come back. Because it'll be easy for Roman to attack Cody and then Rock to attack Roman in the Bloodline closer to SummerSlam. That leads to Rock Roman non-title, which I'll be fine with. Reigns going to break the record for Mania main events. Very nice. Congratulations to Roman Reigns. Do you think Brock's daughter will eventually make her way to WWE? Good question. If she wants to. She's a stud athlete, man. She's a monster. think she does a shot put, or I think that's what she does. I know she does shot put, or she does. I know she throws. She's been. Was it Colorado? Is it Colorado State? Yeah, Colorado State. Yeah. So, yeah, she does shot put, and she broke Colorado State's record with a mark of 18.50 meters. Wow. That's 20 yards. A yard is 3 feet, right? So that's a little over 20.23 yards is 18.5 meters. And if that's 20 yards, 1 yard is 3 feet. So if I'm doing my math right, 20 yards is 60 feet, right? It's a little over 60 feet. Thoughts on Mark Henry going Derrick Henry. Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him, man. The Tennessee Titans have been trash over the past couple of years. And why run? I mean, the money's right, but why run where you can make the same amount of money elsewhere and you can get championship opportunities? Because you weren't getting that with Tennessee. So, yeah. So, I'm not mad on him, man. You know, as a Titans fan, it hurts. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad at Derrick Henry whatsoever, man. I mean, he was winning rushing titles for what? I mean, for them to lose against Cincinnati in the first round of playoffs a few years ago, for them to lose 7 straight games last year after being number 1 in AFC South and allowing a losing record 7-9 Jacksonville team to beat us in the last game of the season, to go as the division leader of the AFC South with an 8-9 record. And then this year, stunk up the place again. So I'm not mad at it, man. I'm not mad at him. Kudos to Derrick Henry for going to the Ravens. What do you think of the Hall of Fame so far? I think that it's a bit weak. I don't think Heyman should headline. I think he definitely should be in the Hall of Fame, but headlining, no. So I don't think we have a suitable headliner, man. Honestly. So we'll see what that looks like in the coming weeks. I think that The Rock should headline, but we'll see. As you said, some fans will boo Brock because in their eyes he's guilty no matter what. I thought exactly the same thing. Yeah, you know, you have cancel culture, man. And look, he should be canceled if he's guilty, for sure. I mean, he should be in the cancel as far as just people like no longer kind of blacklisting him and no longer respecting him in a public eye because of these allegations. But one, forgiveness is powerful. You know, and two, I think that he should have an opportunity to state his case. And but guess what? You need to admit that what you did was absolutely wrong if you're a part of it. That's one thing that you need to do, is man up and say that I was wrong. That's where it starts more than anything. So we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. There are rumors that Cena will be at Mania in some capacity. Also, Punk is hosting. Well, at least that's the rumor. Yeah, I mean, Punk hosting, sure. I mean, I'm fine with that. You're giving him a WrestleMania spot. I know that he wanted to compete at WrestleMania. He wants that WrestleMania payday. He wants the WrestleMania just kind of pulsating, just kind of excitement feel. Sure. I mean, it's once in a year. It's once a year, man. I mean, this is the biggest event in pro wrestling all year, of all of pro wrestling, not just WWE. This is the biggest pro wrestling event of the year, hands down. Yes, Wrestle Kingdom's cool. Yes, All Out, I get it, but WrestleMania or All In and Wembley, or even All Out, as far as their big show of the year, but WrestleMania is the biggest event in all the professional wrestling every year, so people want to be a part of that. And sure, CM Punk wants to be a part of it, hosting. I'm for it. Cena did said that he's got time. I'm paraphrasing when he said he's open that day and stuff like that. I mean, it's important to start announcing these people. Now, if they did a ladder match I know they're doing a ladder match for the tag team titles, which I don't understand why they did that. That didn't make any sense to me. They're doing a ladder match for the tag team titles, but they've been doing the Awesome Truth gimmick for weeks and weeks and weeks just to set up a 6-pack challenge. What a weird way to just make this irrelevant. Spending that much time, the fans were still in it, and you're like, we'll just do a 6-pack challenge. Why? Why don't you just do a number one contenders match or for a future, show, and have the Awesome Truth go against Judgment Day at WrestleMania, and you can also have, if you want those teams to be showcased, do a 6-pack challenge for a number one contendership at a later time. You could have easily done that, but don't do it at the expense of taking away the actual angle of Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth. I mean, again, for the life of me, I don't understand the logic when it comes to this stuff. Elvis, with Thursday being Pie Day, what's your favorite pie and why? Pumpkin for me with lots of whipped cream. I don't eat pie, man. I'm not a pie guy. Thanksgiving. I'll say this though. Thanksgiving Dutch apple pie with ice cream. Wow. I like that everything. Thanksgiving is cool. Nope. IRS is not in the Hall of Fame, man. Let me make sure. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm almost positive he's not. Nope. He is not in the Hall of Fame. I thought he wasn't. Why isn't Sable, Lay Cool, Stephanie, Gail Kim? We know why. I have Gail Kim on my Mount Rushmore of women wrestlers, Melita, Maria. The list goes on. Sable should be in the Hall of Fame. Wait a minute. Sable's not in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, not in the Hall of Fame. She should be. Definitely. I mean, she made a bigger mark than Tori, Sunny. Although Sunny was, she was like the woman of the mid 90s, but she didn't wrestle. She wasn't a wrestler. She was just eye candy. She, as Tammy Sitch, in ECW and Smoky Mountain, she was just a manager. But I don't know. With the logic of how they pick the Hall of Famers, I don't get why Sable's not in the Hall of Fame. Sable made definitely a bigger mark than the aforementioned people that I said. Lay Cool, they had a moment, but definitely not a Hall of Fame career. Stephanie McMahon, yeah, Stephanie McMahon should be in the Hall of Fame. Gail Kim did not have a Hall of Fame career whatsoever in the WWE. Melina didn't either. Maria didn't either. So none of them are Hall of Fame worthy, in my opinion. U.S. Express were to get war together less than a year. Wyndham decided to go back to the NBA, and he was replaced by Dan Spivey. Yeah, I remember that. I mean, again, why? Like the U.S. Express was a hiccup, man. And Barry Windham was an NWA guy. He went back to NWA and eventually became a horseman. Should Bray Wyatt be inducted as a solo with the Wyatt family? That's a good question. I think as a solo, because I don't think the Wyatt family did enough as a faction to really consider them as Hall of Fame worthy. Now, Bray Wyatt ended up becoming, champion multiple times, and that helped him as far as his credentials. So, no, I would say solo. Muhammad Ali going to Hall of Fame too. I think they both very much deserve it. Yeah, I talked about Paul Heyman. Yeah, I did hear about Muhammad Ali too. See, that's what I don't understand. I mean, I can argue with you about Muhammad Ali. I get it. First, special guest ref. I mean, he was special guest ref at WrestleMania 1, right? That's the only relevance that he had in WWE, right? Does that make you in the Hall of Fame? We'll sketchy about that. I mean, Muhammad Ali, other than Mike Tyson, is my all-time favorite boxer. So as far as the boxing is concerned, I'll defend, Muhammad Ali regardless. But WWE, okay. Rollins cost Cody the title. I don't think that's going to happen. The only reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because okay, so it cost Cody the title on Sunday. Now, I said that Rollins is going to turn on Cody, but I don't think it's going to happen in the tag match because somehow I think Cody, but I think Seth is going to turn on Cody somehow, some way before SummerSlam. I still say that I think Cody versus Seth is going to be SummerSlam, a SummerSlam title match. But I don't think it's not going to be the tag match because that would make a heel Seth go against a heel Drew. That wouldn't make sense. So he's not going to turn it during the tag match. So then Seth would turn on Cody in the main event, but I don't think that's going to happen because I think Cody's going to win. I think The Rock's going to put a cap in this feud and turn on Roman. So that's going to lead to Roman Rock. So perhaps Seth turns on Cody that same week or shortly after. I do think he is going to turn on Cody, but I don't think during WrestleMania weekend. Can we do a Hall of Fame Sporkle quiz on the yeah. I think we can do that. Thoughts on Darby Allin climbing Mount Everest on the 27th of this month and him saying he's not afraid of death. I just pray that he makes it back safe. It's a very dangerous mountain. Well, kudos to him. But a lot of people said they're not afraid of death until they look at it in the face. Then that changes their mind and humbles them really, really quick and sobers them up really quick. He's too young, man. He's got way too much ahead of him. He's got way too many people that he's influencing to quote not be afraid of death. That's a bit selfish, if I would say so. You have a lot of people who you can influence at your young age. I mean, you should focus on that, man. Psycho Sid is definitely headline worthy for sure. And I think he'll get in. He'll get in. Tell Belata I said he should be in the Hall of Fame. I will. Bill Apter, Elvis thinks he should be in the Hall of Fame. What's up? It's been a while. Sick, a lot to do, up and down weather. Yeah, man. A lot of people's been sick over the past few months, man. I caught the bug real bad a few weeks back, man. So I'm praying for you for health. And yeah, that's been a weird bug. Travis is in the building. What's up, my man? How do you feel about the people every year around Mania season petitioning for Benoit to go in the WWE Hall of Fame? It's never going to happen. Career-wise, doesn't matter why he trolls. I mean, look, James. There are people who couldn't care less about the tragedy. They're so dedicated and obsessed with pro wrestling that they don't have like reality. They don't grasp the sense of reality. There's so many people who are just obsessed with pro wrestling because I'm telling you, I've said this before. I've said it on many shows. From a clinical standpoint, you have to listen to what I'm saying here. There are people who are obsessed with pro wrestling because this is the only platform that they feel they have a voice. They're insecure. They're not really working on themselves from a clinical standpoint. They're finding groups that can accept who they are, don't even really accept who they are, but they get a chance to be eccentric in a way that is unhealthy. Now, eccentricity, peculiarity, cool, man. Be you. I mean, people have their weird quirks and stuff like that. That's cool. But as long as it's not, but if it is trying to mask, personal security feelings that you have about yourself, then that's a whole different ballgame to me. And a lot of pro wrestling fans, they're just insecure, man. They just don't. I mean, they're not willing to do the work, and they will go to the nth degree. They would go to the outer limits to just not think anything about other than wrestling. Nothing about their life is real. They don't care about that. They're not thinking about that. And it's unfortunate, man. Like, pro wrestling is a scripted show that is like a comic book come to life. Step away from wrestling in a second and realize this guy was charged for a double murder suicide. Come on now. Think about that for a second. I presume it's a ladder match to protect Priest and Balor. What do you mean protect them? In what way? Yeah, first of all, it's time to do. Ab said it's time to split the tag team titles too. Yes, and it's also time to have a new design. That design is absolutely horrible. It's horrible. Horrible. Both of the designs. So I got to see two different colors of the same bad design. That tag team title is atrocious, man. It's like a coin. It's like a big fat coin on a red and blue strap. It's bad, man. It's horrible. I think both of them should be in the Hall of Fame, hands down. Woman and the Miss Elizabeth. How Viscera and The Rock are not in the Hall of Fame is very surprising to me. Yeah, The Rock is of course, The Rock is surprising. Viscera, I don't know, man. I don't know if he had a Hall of Fame career. He really didn't, have a ton of achievements. Yeah, King of the Ring, yeah. Headline SummerSlam, and then you had like mid-card gimmicks. So, I mean, here's the thing. This is what I really like from WWE. What is the criteria of becoming a WWE Hall of Famer? Like, that's what I really want to see. What's the criteria? And then we can talk, because when I think of Hall of Fame, I think of the best of the best. There's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people who've played baseball in the annals of MLB history who's not nor will ever be in the Hall of Fame. Same thing with basketball players. It's the best of the best, man. That's the Hall of Fame. That's what Hall of Fames are all about. When Wyndham did come back to WWE, he's given terrible gimmicks such as the Widowmaker and New Blackjacks. Yeah, man. I mean, those gimmicks were horrible. Absolutely atrocious. Definitely not Hall of Fame gimmicks. Travis, Rock and Roman win on night 1 to make everyone believe Cody has no chance on night 2. I think that The Rock and Roman will win on night 1. I said that. I think that The Rock is going to turn on Roman. I think the tag team, I think that The Rock and Roman will win on night 1. Bloodline rules, you got interference, and all of a sudden The Rock is going to cost Roman Reigns the championship. And like I said before, I think the gimmick about this is that it's going to be a ruse. Like it's a ruse. Cody and Rock has been working together the whole time. I think that brings a pretty interesting element to it. If it was a ruse, I think that would be pretty cool, actually. Ali is probably getting him due to the Inoki match. Freddie Blassie was his handler, and he did an angle with Gorilla Monsoon, gave him an airplane spin. I do remember the airplane spin, too. Yeah, I mean, again, Hall of Fame worthy. Okay. Rollins is too focused on helping Cody, which leads him to losing the title. So that's why he turns. If it's Cody versus Rollins for the title, that means Rollins is losing again. I think, yes, I do think I think Rollins will lose again to Cody. Which if he beats Cody at SummerSlam, that'll be a 4-month reign for Cody. Or close to a 4-month reign for Cody, and then that's fine. He can regain it back from Seth. You know, they could switch titles a couple of times, so he doesn't necessarily have to lose. But I do think it's going to be Cody and Seth. I do. Rollins in the building. What's up, Dr. Chris? What event would you choose to return to the Roman versus Rock storyline? I would do it. Post Money in the Bank. So like the SmackDown after Money in the Bank. Because I wouldn't want to shroud, especially if both of them won't have anything to do with Money in the Bank. I wouldn't shroud Money in the Bank with anticipation of fans hoping that they were a part of it. But I would do it right after. Rollins said, what do you think about John Cena being naked or nude at the Oscars? I think that the influencer Andrew Tate said it was a humiliation ritual. That could be the case, but he wasn't naked though. He had like a nude underwear / like a jock strap on. So he wasn't naked. But I mean, in the world of acting, there's probably some type of cult back there that people get initiated with. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me one bit. James, yeah, I agree. Lots of fans are like that. They don't care about the bad things that happen. That's ridiculous. Derek says, Chris Benoit was my favorite wrestler at the time of the tragedy. It makes me cringe at the thought of that monster ever getting into Hall of Fame. I agree with you 100%. Travis said, fantastic way to explain the Benoit thing. It would never happen. You just put into great words how people literally don't get it. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. I think it would be cool if Cody came out to the Rocky music. The Rock's music? When would he come out to that? Priest and Labor won't be pinned. Priest and Balor won't be pinned or tapped out in a ladder match, so we're protected. No, they don't need to be protected. I think it's time for them to lose. I mean, it's like, why protect them? It's like WrestleMania usually leads to culminations. The culmination of this should be the heels losing the title. I mean, there's nothing to protect there, especially if Priest is going to cash in before July. I mean, there's no need to protect them. Is Big Boss Man in the Hall of Fame? I believe so. I think he was posthumously inducted a few years ago, actually. I think I was there when he was posthumously inducted. 2016. Yep. So that was 34. That was New Orleans. Yeah, I was there. I was at the Hall of Fame that year. He was in the Hall of Fame. Yep. I remember that. What do you think of the logo for Prime Junk being essential to see in the ring every pay-per-view? I mean, that's business, man. I'm not mad at it at all. I mean, look at boxing. Boxing does it all the time. Back in the day, I mean that's sponsors, man. I have zero problem with it. It might be a bit of an eyesore, but I mean, they don't care if it's an eyesore or not. I mean, if someone's paying to be a sponsor for the WWE, go for it, man. I mean, like, think about it. Back in the day, I mean, Michael, you'll know this more than anybody here, as far as the chat room is concerned. Back in the day, man, like Continental Wrestling Federation or Continental Wrestling Association, by the way, CWA, the Memphis Territories, it would be a studio audience. You would go into a ring, and the aprons would have all types of sponsors on them. So these shows and these events are being paid for by sponsors. And guess what? They would put the sponsor on the apron. And oftentimes as well, they would have sponsors in the middle of the ring. That's how they paid. That's how they got paid, man. And to this day, I mean, boxing does it. Like, it's normal. It's a normal thing for sponsors to be on the apron on the ring, man. So, WWE picks it up, but I mean, Memphis wrestling was doing that 40 years ago. I mean, that's not something abnormal as far as wrestling is concerned. World class, man. They were, I mean, apron, like sponsors on the aprons, man. Like, watch a lot of those old school wrestling, and Michael, you watch old school wrestling, man. They would have all types of sponsors on those aprons, man. It was hilarious. Who would you have received the Warrior Award this year? Kevin Dunn or Jim Johnston? Probably Jim Johnston. Both of them, man. Both of them were fantastic, but Jim Johnston, man, for sure. I believe Michael Cole should be in the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't disagree with you there, man. He's been a huge asset to the company for sure. Rollin, I saw The Rock do a 2-minute interview at the Oscars on or near the red carpet, and he didn't say one word about WrestleMania. I wonder if Roxy and the Bad Bunny were instructed to say nothing. I think Rock knows how to section his life off. Rock is not surrounded in wrestling anymore. He's an actor. He's a businessman. He's got UWF coming up soon, and then he goes into wrestling mode when it's time. So his life doesn't revolve around wrestling like a lot of the other wrestlers do. Rumors are Rock is wrestling in Saudi, so if he turns face again, who does he face? Rock, there's a couple options. Like Rock solo would be interesting. Rock Jimmy perhaps would be interesting. If Seth turns heel, Rock Seth. Like, if I would stay within the bloodline. If it is in Saudi, somewhere around, that would be interesting. I agree woman deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but how would they induct her considering the tragedy to show a pick of her and not have her sister do a speech? They can't mention Chris. They would just posthumously induct her, just like in the other time. I mean, there's many people who were affiliated with women. I mean, women used to manage Kevin Sullivan and Ric Flair, and so she had some Horseman affiliation. She was in ECW. I mean, so there's a lot of people who can induct her posthumously. Zoo Bear, hi Doc, hope all is well. Drop by to say hi. Busy now with fasting month and barely had time for the gym. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. Well, thank you for stopping by, man. I really, really appreciate your dedication to the show. Very, very much appreciate it. Priest cashing in on Gunther. No, man. That whole idea on that Raw was so stupid, man. I talked about that. Just why have Money in the Bank where if people randomly have Intercontinental Championship matches on Raw or, all the time? Why use something that you earned to? That's just stupid. That's a stupid concept. It's been a few weeks. You and Russo will go more in depth with Raw reviews. Kind of blame myself with the super chats, but at least you guys are getting the support. Well, first of all, don't blame yourself. Thank you for that support. And plus, we prefer that. We prefer just spending over an hour answering super chats and just going through the Raw script very quickly because, it's an hour show at least. And so we have to stretch it. Neither of us enjoy watching Raw. I'm under the philosophy of, dude, I'm blessed to do it. I'm so blessed and so grateful to have this opportunity to get paid very well to talk about wrestling. That's a blessing, man, and it's supplemental income. You know what I mean? So, I'm a doctor by day, and a college professor. And a podcaster by afternoon, evening. I'm a college professor all throughout the week, but then by evenings I'm a podcaster, man, and I get paid to talk about wrestling. I'm incredibly grateful for that, man. That's an opportunity that people don't have, who dream to have, and so that's a blessing, man. I don't take that for granted. I don't take it for granted whatsoever. And so I enjoy what I do, man. Do I enjoy watching Raw? No, I think Raw sucks. But at the same time, I'm under philosophy as a man of God, as a man of faith. Do everything to the glory of God, as Colossians says, man. So I'm a fan of. I'm going to represent Christ in what I do, in all that I do. And I'm gonna have fun, man. So that's my take on doing Leads in a Raw. I like interacting with y'all. I mean, that's my favorite part. I enjoy that more than I enjoy watching Raw, to be honest. I thought Cena appeared to be naked at the Oscars just to be funny. Yeah, he appeared. It was an appearance. Yeah, I was very good friends with Darren Jossoff for 3 years before his passing last year, as you know. But my question is, should he be in the Hall of Fame? To me, he should. I mean, I'm a man. I'm honest, man. I would be open to hear. Let's say this. I would be open to hear what criteria falls, like what criteria he made to be a part of the Hall of Fame. Perhaps Lesnar return being saved for WrestleMania. Perhaps helping Cody a surprise opponent for someone like Gunther. Also thoughts on ladder match announced without any build. So yeah, I talked about that. As far as helping Cody, I think, like I said, I think Rock will. Surprise for Gunther, I'll explain that. I talked about that too, as far as Sammy's concerned, of what they could do. But I mean, maybe Bronson Reed had an open challenge, and then you bring Brock Lesnar out there, Brock versus Bronson. That would be interesting. I said this, man, and I'm gonna spoil y'all. I give y'all a little spoiler with Bronson Reed. I think John Cena should have an open challenge against and Bronson Reed comes out. I think Bronson Reed should absolutely destroy Cena, destroy him. He gets no offense, or maybe just a little bit tries to do a STF, but nothing, and then Bronson Reed destroys John Cena, and then challenges Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship the night after WrestleMania, and defeats Sami Zayn and become Intercontinental Champion. That's how you build a heel, ladies and gentlemen. I still think Bray's the headliner this year. They're just saving his announcement for that. That's why Rotunda and Barry are part of this class. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I guess, yeah, that makes sense, man. Bray is the headliner, though. I'm a little iffy on that, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think he'd be, it sucks that he passed, but I don't think if he was alive, he would have headlined the Hall of Fame. It sucks that someone has to die to get some type of credentialing, or some type of accreditation, So that's an interesting thing to ponder. We are waiting for Vacant to go in the Hall of Fame. I'm telling you, man, undefeated. The constant camera cuts Kevin did made me feel dizzy. I think Kevin Dunn was an amazing producer, man. I remember when I first started WWE in 1998, they had bad blimps flying around the area to advertise. I remember that. Yep, I remember that. Earl and Brian Hebner for Hall of Fame. Brian, I don't think Brian has a Hall of Fame career in WWE. Earl, yes. Tom Clark's birthday is next week. Nice, man. Happy birthday, Tom Clark. What was your favorite memory of hosting Raw with Warrior Animal, or have you had any stories, if you don't mind me asking, where you were close? Yeah, we ended up becoming really close. I really don't have a memory of the actual show. I just remember every show, man. He would just he would really appreciate my feedback, which was really cool. He'd be like, man, it was okay. Was okay. It was, that was like his first time really podcasting. So he was super nervous about it. And it was really cool that he would always ask me for feedback. Molly Holly for the Hall of Fame. I think she's in the Hall of Fame, Elvis. I think she's in the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. Almost positive she's in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame. Yes. She was inducted in the 2021 class. Non-taking Josh didn't really have a Hall of Fame early career. Is a good friend of mine as well. Okay, so it's personal why you want. Okay, I can understand that. What's up, Humble? With the recent allegations against Vince McMahon, do you think that the wrestling industry will place more provisions on protecting women? Man, that's a fantastic question. That's a fantastic question, Humble. Wow. They should. They better. From your avatar as a woman, I support that for sure. I think they should. They better. They better. But I don't think we'll have. Yes, there's all types of stuff going on, within corporations, period. But I don't know if we'll have Vince McMahon style things going on anymore in the WWE, allegedly. But I mean, there's been other things as far as Vince McMahon's been involved in. He's a character, man. He's just a character, and I don't think we'll have that type of power trip, in WWE. Vince First Hall of Fame, bro. I wish that list was in Hall of Fame. They should be. They definitely should be. All right, y'all. Fantastic interaction. Fantastic interaction today. Oops. Got a little shocker there. Got a little shocker. There we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic as always. There we go. All right. Another very, very successful PMP episode. Fun as always. Wonderful time as always. Awesome. Your mom's birthday is on Sunday, Elvis. Happy birthday to your mother. Very nice. All right, y'all. Short PMP after party session with the Patreons, and I'm also going to I'm gonna let y'all know who's going to be a part of the 12-year anniversary show coming up on and when. I'm gonna tell you when. I'm gonna tell you who. So you're gonna get first dibs, first take on that. So until next week, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless, and always remember, I'll do it for you. Hey, you see this right there? What does that say? Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, there's a lot of people on here right now. Subscribe if you haven't. Share this video. Like, do all that stuff. Boost the algorithms. And guess what? Do me a favor. Comment on the videos, because guess what? It makes the videos pull up when people watch wrestling on YouTube. It boosts my algorithms if you like it and if you comment it. So we get all types of interaction on PNP every single week, and it's so fun. It's so awesome. Subscriber count is rising exponentially by the day. So thank you so much. But continue to be a part of the PNP Nation. All right. The PNP Army to go out and to help me continue to have this in the algorithm. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and let the world know about how much you have a great time on PNP. So until next week, enjoy your wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Hey, see you at the after party, patreon.com/pancakes and Powerslams. You as well, Keith. You have a great week. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. So long.